right, here we go. So, I'm Danny.
I'm Brian.
And this is another Nightmare podcast.
Welcome.
This is actually our first ever podcast. This is episode number 1.
Number 1.
So welcome and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
So this podcast is something that Brian and I have been like super geared up for like over a year now.
Very excited.
Yeah. We've been listening to podcasts for a while and we decided we wanted to make our own. And here we are.
Yeah. It's happening right now.
We have no clue what we're doing, by the way. Just keep that in mind. We really don't know what we're doing.
Welcome.
Anyways, so I'm Danny. I am interested in paranormal and weird stories and creepy aliens and all that. Because, it's been a part of my life for a really long time. My mom was really into the supernatural and kind of raised me to be into the supernatural, and it's always been a part of my life.
And I just love hearing about it because it's always an interesting thing to listen to.
I guess we should say this podcast is about ghost stories, paranormal things, aliens, Bigfoot, cryptids of all kinds, all that general spooky dooky stuff.
Unsolved mysteries, conspiracy theories. I can't wait to get into some conspiracy theories and just...
We talk a lot about conspiracy theories in our free time, honestly.
We're going to do deep dives.
Yeah. We actually have the board game Conspiracy Theories, and it's one of our favorites.
We'll probably bring it out and play it for you sometimes and talk about the topic on the card.
But yeah, anyways, this podcast is honestly, so Brian and I are dating. We've been together for well over 3 years now. And our top 3 subjects that brought us together was music, comic books, and this. Spooky stuff, scary stories, ghost stories, paranormal, everything. We really bonded hardcore over these types of stories and sharing that with each other. And that's why we wanted to make it a podcast, is because it's something we talk about on the regular with each other. So why not share it with you guys?
Everyone.
Yay. Yeah, so that's what we're all about here. And we hope you guys like it. Just remember, be nice, because I'm new to this and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm also a very timid and nervous person, so just be nice, okay? Just be nice to me.
It's okay. Don't worry. It's okay.
So anyways, should we get into episode 1?
I think we should, Danny.
All right, again.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. All right, so our episode 1. By the way, if you hear thumping around, it's because our beautiful dog is in here with us, because she will lose her mind if she's not in here with us. Her name is Dottie. She's gorgeous and she's a pain in the butt.
I'm sure you'll see her soon.
Yeah. I will definitely post pictures on social media so you can all enjoy the pupper. All right. So anyways.
All right.
Our first episode is going to be about the Ancient Ram Inn.
What?
So the Ancient Ram Inn it's a super, super, super old building in England. And I heard about this for the first time from Ghost Adventures.
Oh, okay.
This episode of Ghost Adventures, it came out way back, way a long time ago. I was younger. It scared the shit out of me, honestly. And I really like this building. I like the story behind it. I like the history behind it. It's got a lot of cool stuff. It's also just kind of super creepy looking and like full of junk, and it's just kind of a cool spot. So I thought, this would be a fun inaugural episode for us.
The Ancient Ram Inn?
Yeah.
All right. I like the name.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a little random and weird, but so let's talk about it.
All right.
So the story of the Ancient Ram Inn begins even before the construction of the actual building. In the low-lying wetlands near Porter's Pond, there's an intersection of 2 ley lines.
Ley lines?
Yeah. You know what ley lines are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like the energy lines that crisscross the entire planet. And
okay.
Yeah.
I know that one.
So this area is an intersection of two of these ley lines, which supposedly bring a significantly high amount of spiritual energy directly into the area.
I mean, duh. Who doesn't know about ley lines?
Yeah, geez, duh. Doesn't Google exist? But one of the ley lines can actually be traced directly to Stonehenge, which is England's...
Oh, they're in line.
Yeah, and it, Stonehenge, England's most famous sacred site, like...
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's lined up directly with Stonehenge on one of its ley lines. And legend has it that the energy from Stonehenge travels the ley lines to provide the property's paranormal power.
Okay, all right.
The site is also home to a 5,000-year-old pagan burial ground.
Holy shit.
Yeah, bro. That's old.
Yeah, that's really old.
Yeah, and,
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Because pagans are the best.
Yep.
So the inn itself, it's estimated to have been built around 1145, which was a really long time ago.
Jeez.
That makes it England's oldest building in Wootton Under Edge. I'm sorry to England listeners. I don't know how to pronounce most of your cities and most of your stuff. So if I butcher it, I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
But so anyways,
Say it again.
Wootton Under Edge.
You did it.
I want to say Under Bridge every single time. I don't know why. I don't freaking understand. I have problems. So the building served, initially it served as a home for like the local priest. That was its intention of being built because it's directly across the street from the church.
Okay.
So it's right there. It's a perfect place to set up your priest and everything.
Yeah.
So during the reign of
I like to set up my priest across the street. Sorry.
I don't know what the fuck that was. Okay. So during the reign of King John, much of the town was destroyed by fire.
Oh man. Yeah.
King John, the phony king of England.
Oh my God. From Robin Hood, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
He was a super big dickbag.
Yeah, no, he was pretty bad.
And like the real King John was like really fucking bad and like really fucked a lot. I mean, I'm sure most people know about King John. If you don't, like, he was a really terrible king.
The Disney movie covers it pretty well.
I mean, I guess, but just know, dick bag.
Jeez.
Anyways, the Ram was one of the buildings to actually survive that fire, and it would later help house the masons, slaves, and other workers involved in the construction of the 13th century Church of St. Mary the Virgin in the town center.
Wow.
And as I said, it was right across the street.
Right.
So, that was the perfect place to set up, have your masons and all of your workers stay there so that, first thing, bright and early, they can get right to work right across the street. They don't have to, travel, and you don't have to ship them in.
Right.
They have an actual, like, place to stay, a bed to sleep in and whatnot. I mean, maybe not for the slaves, but, we don't talk about that, I guess. No. During the construction of the church, streams in the area actually had to be diverted so that they could lay down the foundation.
That's awesome.
So they literally had to direct springs in different areas because it's kind of like a wetland area, I think. If I'm wrong, England, I'm sorry, okay? Don't attack me. But that's actually something that a lot of spiritualists believe is what opened up the portal to bring in the dark energy, was moving that water, because water is very sacred, and like supposedly redirecting water can actually open portals because it changes the flow and the energy of the area. And
okay, all right.
Yeah. You know.
I've believed in weirder things.
Right. Okay. So sometime later, the building was officially converted into an inn. It was sold in 1930. Oh man, I forgot about this name. It was sold in 1930 to Maurice de Bath. I'm so sorry.
I think that was pretty good.
I'm not very good at the French language. I'm not very good.
Oh.
I only speak English, and I'm not good at it, as you will find out. You can ask Brian. I stumble over words a lot. So, since then, the inn has become privately owned and has changed hands several times. And by 1965, the building was in severe decline and had already began gaining a reputation for hauntings.
Oh.
Though it's difficult to find accounts of these stories.
Okay.
The building was listed for demolition as part of a plan to widen the road, but it was saved by a man named John Humphreys in 1968.
Okay.
So he wound up purchasing the building from Whitehead Brewery for around 2,600 pounds.
Nice.
I mean, I guess this purchase is gonna prove to nearly cost him everything.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He really wanted to save the building because, like I said, it was the oldest building, and
right.
He really wanted to save the history and try to preserve it. So he bought it, and Humphreys moved in with his wife and 3 daughters. The building was in terrible shape. There was an infestation of death watch beetles in the wooden beams.
What? What are those?
So death watch beetles.
Oh my god.
Are wood-boring beetles that sometimes infest the structural timbers of old buildings. They lay their eggs in dark crevices within the wood, and once the eggs hatch, the larvae will bore into the timber, feeding for up to 10 years before they officially turn into adults. Treatment with insecticides is largely ineffective against the larvae, and killing the adult beetles when they emerge seems to be a more effective option. So if you can, it's kind of like lice when they're just eggs and larvae, they're harder to kill. But if you can kill them in that stage where they're adult before they start laying eggs, that's your best bet. You got to get that sweet spot. So it's really bad to have these as an infestation.
And what's the name of the beetle?
Death watch beetle.
Death watch. Wow.
Yeah.
Good name. I like that.
Future band name.
I call dibs.
So, it had that infestation, and then also the dry stone walls were crumbling, and there was no running water in the building.
Okay.
So, yeah, real
Darn.
nice place to live.
Bet your wife was happy.
Oh, yeah. I would be so stoked. You bought what? You expect me to live
It was
where?
only 2,600 pounds.
So, how the fuck am I supposed to shower?
There's a hotel across the street.
I mean, it rains in England, I guess.
We'll collect water. I'll figure it out. I'll buy a pump.
Oh, man. It gets better, though. Because John's encounters with ghosts began that first night in the home.
Wow. Starting it early.
Night number 1, they're like, what the fuck, bruh?
This was a mistake.
Who invited you? So what happened is he reported that he was grabbed by a demonic force and dragged from his bed.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
First night?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Night number 1, go fuck yourself, bro.
You're coming with me. Oh my god, I'd be out. I'd be so out of there.
Dude, for real.
First night. Okay.
Too bad there's not a lemon law with buildings, right? Like there is with cars. So this bitch is haunted. I want my money back. Okay, bye.
You dragged me out of bed I was really scared.
Like, as much as I want something like that to happen to me, I don't want it to happen to me because I know I'd straight pee in my pants.
It'd be bad.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty. Yeah, it'd be bad.
Like, the spooky encounters that I've had with, like, not even being touched or, like, actually officially seeing something, like, just, like, the spooktastic adventures, I've come close enough to peeing my pants on those that, like, I don't need to be touched. I'm okay. Like, COVID's real. Social distance, ghosts.
Damn
it. Anyways, so eventually the pressure became too much for the family. He lost his wife, his money, and for a time, his relationship with his kids.
Dang.
In an interview in 2013, his daughter, Caroline, states, when I was a child, quote, "When I was a child, I was so scared of the house, I used to sleep in a caravan outside. It was normal for us to see people running out of the house screaming in terror."
Jeez. That sucks.
So John was just determined to stay. No matter what. Hell or high water, he was going to stay in this place.
Interesting.
He actually passed away in 2017 after spending his entire life trying to preserve the ram, which he did a pretty good job. It's still up. It still exists. So
awesome.
Good for you, John. And holy crap. So haunting. So eventually the growing number of ghost stories coming from the Ancient Ram Inn had begun to attract many interested in the paranormal. It was featured in many news articles, blogs, and paranormal TV shows, both in the UK and the US. Like I said, the way that I heard about this place was literally Ghost Adventures.
Nice.
Because I used to watch Ghost Adventures constantly. Visitors have said that upon entering the Ancient Ram, an aura of dreadful foreboding surrounds you.
Dang. That's a dreadful foreboding.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
It just hits you like when you walk in.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Even without the stories of ghosts and demons, speaking of creaky, sorry if you heard his chair, it is very creaky. But even without the stories of the ghosts and the demons, like creaky floorboards, the steep staircase, and like all the shadowiness of the building is going to make anyone uneasy.
Right.
And like I said, this building is like straight up full of just junk that John Humphreys has collected throughout his lifetime. Like, honestly, you look at the house and I automatically go hoarder. Like,
oh, okay.
There's just a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff.
Maybe it kept him company.
Maybe it brought more ghosties, because some of it seems like, what's that word? Antiques.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, some antiques come with friends. Ha ha. So we're gonna kind of do like a mini tour through the building. We're just gonna kind of talk about like how you move throughout the building and stuff.
Let's do it.
So the first room visitors encounter is known as the men's kitchen.
All right.
The room is extremely cluttered with junk, like most of the house. But upon closer inspection, the clutter seems to be aimed towards the macabre and the occult.
All right.
This is, according to John, the place of the pagan burial ground. So this men's kitchen area is supposedly where the bodies are buried, literally.
Okay, nice.
Many visitors have reported hearing sounds of a crying baby in the area.
Oh.
A woman had been murdered here by highwaymen, and she's still seen in the building. And then electronics have been known to fail in this room as well, which is a common sign for ghosties. You have a fully charged, camera battery, and the next thing you know, it's drained and dead, and you're like, oh, ghosties.
You took my power.
In July 2003, a team called the Ghost Club photographed a number of orbs, and they reported a moving electronic frequency hotspot.
All right.
Electric electromagnetic frequency hotspot. I'll figure out words one day.
As you want.
Thanks. So the main attraction of the men's kitchen is the spot known as the Ancient Grave. I'm going to pull up a photo in just a second. Okay, so I have a photo here for you to look at of the Ancient Grave. Let me just... Oh, I suck at this. So this is the Ancient Grave. So...
Whoa.
It's basically just an exposed plot of soil in the middle of the building with, you know, a grave marker, and it says the Ancient Grave.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
interesting.
That's essentially what we're talking about here. Is that so? In June 1997, a group of ghost hunters from Swindon. I'm gonna say that's right.
All right.
It's either like Swindon or Swindon. I don't. Words.
We're not sure.
All right. So, anyways, a group of ghost hunters from this place were given permission to search for an entrance to a sealed cellar.
Oh.
They removed the concrete floor and found a grave containing the bones of a woman and a child, along with broken iron shards. They were taken to the Bristol Museum, and the analysis seemed to point to ritual sacrifice using an iron dagger.
Oh.
The ghost hunters also suffered a car crash after leaving the inn.
Dang.
Yeah. Which
coincidence? I think not.
But I mean, if you're going around disturbing graves and then like sending the pieces off, like...
Yeah, you're taking shit from the spot.
Yeah. Like, that's why, like, grave robbers, like, good fucking luck, bro. Like,
you're haunted for life.
Yeah, don't fuck with that shit. Especially, like, don't take things from graves. Like, also, just to throw this out there, since this is a podcast and we are talking, like, we do not condone, or, like, we don't advocate people doing bad things like grave robbing. Like, don't do it. First of all, super illegal. Second of all, super disrespectful. Third of all, ghosts.
Ghosts. Oh, man.
So, yeah, essentially this is kind of what led to the pagan burial ground and, like...
Right.
All of that. Oh, man. Words are hard. Diviners have also claimed that there is a secret tunnel from the fireplace to the crypts of the nearby church. John believed them, but did not want any further investigation for fear of waking more dormant spirits, which... If there's anything about, like, hidden underground tunnels, like ancient tunnels, like, dude, just stop. Don't do it. Like...
I say go for it.
I mean, I'm a pussy, though.
Disturb that shit.
I'm afraid. But yeah, so I don't really blame him for not wanting to try to find those. But in reality, I believe that they're there because it would make sense because this was the house for the priest of the church. So, like, you know, there's always stories of, like, underground secret tunnels and stuff like that leading from one place to another. And, like, in all honesty, the church having secret underground tunnels for the priest to funnel back to his estate makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, especially back in those days, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe they're there, maybe they're
secret
not.
Way.
Maybe one day somebody will let us excavate and find the tunnels, and yeah.
It's my secret passage.
Is that what the kids call it nowadays? So, the next place that you go to on the tour of the building is called the Mayflower Barn. It's a largely undeveloped space and is part of the former stables of the property. Some have described it as a makeshift living room or seating area. I mean, in an unfinished room, do you really want to just sit there and hang out? Because, like, that sounds cold.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my dog, but she's in my way. So, during a visit to the inn by a TV series called Most Haunted, The team's spirit medium, Derek Acra. Names are hard. Okay. He was possessed by an entity that told the team to visit the barn. While there, one of the members was set upon by an invisible force that threw him to the ground and proceeded to beat him.
What?
Yeah.
In the barn?
Yeah. So the medium was possessed by a spirit that compelled the team to go to the barn, and then another crew member was thrown to the ground and beaten by an invisible force.
This is awesome.
They did not present any evidence of bruising in the episode's conclusion. So he didn't show any evidence of having the shit kicked out of him.
So he wasn't hit pretty hard. He was just slapped around a little bit.
But they did say that the beating was proof of a physical manifestation.
Well, yeah, you got thrown to the ground.
Yeah, and I mean, there are ways to beat people without showing bruises. You know? But, and I mean, like, getting your ass kicked by a ghost, like, is it really going to leave bruises? Because if you think about it, it's more just like an energy force field hitting you rather than, like, actual physical fists.
Yeah, that's what I would think, because, I mean, it's not...
I mean, I don't think getting in a fist fight with... Yeah, I don't think getting in a fist fight with a ghost, you're going to come out with a fucking shiner. You know?
We're going to get punched in the face by ghosts.
Please don't hit me. I'm weak. I'm so weak. So other visitors to the barn have also reported being attacked. There was a previous claim by an 18-year-old ghost hunter of being thrown to the floor.
Oh.
A father and son witnessed a ghost rising from the floor and fled the room. Just straight up, just like, peace, I'm out, bish.
The ghost ran or they ran?
They ran.
Oh, man.
I mean, maybe the ghost ran. Maybe that's what the article meant, was that the ghost saw the father and son and was like, what the fuck? And, like, totally dipped.
Oh, wrong floor. Sorry.
That would be me as a ghost, though, straight up. I'd be like, there's people here. Run. I don't like people. But anyways, like, so yeah, they split. Others have reported a 7-foot tall shadow.
Wow.
Rushing through the barn and out the door.
Shadow. That's people. A big shadow.
Yes.
Shadow people. Shadow
Just stop.
People. Sorry.
We will cover shadow people at one point. That is definitely on our episode list.
Nah.
Yeah, they scare the crap out of me. John also reports having seen strange lights in the room and says that he's been pinned against the wall while the curtains were torn down.
Dang.
So he was pinned and then the curtains just came down while he was pinned against the wall.
That's some strong ghosties.
Dude, I feel really bad for John because, like, for real, he just tried to save this building and then he just gets fucked over by ghosts for the rest of his life.
That's what you get.
I mean, poor guy. He just looks like a crazy old man, too, in his photos, and I love him so much.
Well, I mean, living in the ancient Ram Inn, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably insane.
So after the Mayflower barn is the narrow set of stairs that lead to the first floor, which are overlooked by a stuffed ram's head.
Nice.
Yeah. So I read in one of the articles for the research that this is where John discovered the remains of children under the staircase.
Oh.
Still in
Good
the
spot.
Yeah.
Good spot.
That's where I like to keep my skeletons, is under narrow stairs. I'll learn how to speak one day, I promise. So inside the skeletons were still pieces of broken daggers that he believed were used in a deadly ritual and purposely broken as to never be used again.
Okay.
Because I guess that was a thing. I've heard it before that, like, in ritual sacrifice, that was, like, a thing, is, like, you would use a brand new blade and then break it.
Yeah.
So that, like, its only purpose was that one ritual. Okay. I don't know if that's real or if, like,
I'm sure we'll find out.
I don't know. Somebody will probably correct me.
Yeah, we'll get it.
So with these stairs, some visitors have been shoved down the stairs by unseen hands.
That's rude.
Right? Like, just say excuse me. You don't have to be so rude. God, it's like walking around Italy. I'm just kidding, Italy. Don't come after me. I love you so much.
Get her.
You're my favorite place to go. So in a photo taken in 1999 by paranormal investigator Julie Hunt, there appears to be a white mist roughly the height of a person on the stairs. And I actually have that photo right frack in here.
Oh, wow. Is that the mist?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's misty.
Yeah. So it definitely...
That's a sweet staircase.
Isn't it, though? It's so cool.
Oh,
This house is amazing.
that's awesome.
But anyway, so that mist, like, it totally kind of looks like a stereotypical, like, ghost in a white sheet type of shit.
Yeah, it does.
In my opinion. But it definitely has that kind of, like, blurry...
It's wisp-like.
Yeah. So, you know, very stereotypical, ghosty, captured on film stuff. An investigator named Mike Driscoll from UK Paranormal reports having been shoved on the staircase on 3 separate occasions.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Get off my staircase.
they don't like Mike, apparently.
Dang.
Yeah. So I don't know what Mike did, but like
Darn
straight
it.
up, every time he gets on those stairs, they're like, "Why are you here?"
Come on, Mike.
Jeez, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Mike.
So at the top of the stairs is the room called the clock room. In this room, you'll never guess what's in there. A grandfather clock.
Oh, man. I was on the edge of my seat.
Right? The last place you'd expect to find a clock. The clock room?
No.
I thought that's where you kept like cups.
Yeah, your utensils.
Yeah. Duffa.
Silverware.
So, the grandfather clock in this room is haunted.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, because like I said, antiques are haunted. So, like, don't go antiquing. It's a trap.
I love antiquing.
You've never been antiquing in your life. Don't lie. So, on this grandfather clock, a human face has been known to appear on the clock face.
I want to look at the clock.
Yeah, you have fun with that. Straight up, I'd go to this place and just stare at the ground the whole time and be like, "Are we done?" That's not true. I'd be looking at all the like stuff that he had stashed all around the house because a lot of it is like occult based and like, you know me and occult stuff. I'm like,
so cool.
Yeah. So then after this is the first bedroom, which is called the witch's room.
Ooh. I like it.
It is connected to one of the most well-known legends tied to the inn.
Okay.
Like, this is like the Ram's Head legend. Like,
this is what it's known for.
yeah, this is like its main story.
All right.
So, during the 16th century, at the height of the prosecutions against witches and other non-followers of government-sanctioned Christianity.
Oh, we're totally going to talk about that.
Ugh. Anyways,
Maybe.
I'm not talking crap about Christianity. Just what happened in the 16th century with Christianity, because it was not cool, bro.
Not cool, bro.
So anyways, during this time, there was a woman in town accused of being a witch.
Of course.
She took up refuge at the ancient Ram briefly before being captured and burned at the stake.
Jeez. It's always burned at the stake.
I know.
It sucks.
It's super
Throw me
rude.
in a river tied to a chair. Gosh.
Well, I mean, they did stuff like that. They would throw a
That's
witch
why I
in.
said it.
They would throw a witch in the river, and if you drowned, then you obviously weren't a witch. But if you floated, you were a witch and got killed at the
Burned at the stake.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a lose-lose.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you drown, at least your name is cleared.
It's not worth it.
Dude, being a woman in this time frame was hard.
Sucked.
Also, like, having neighbors that hated you was hard. Just life in general was hard. Like, I don't want a time machine. I'm good. I'm good. Today it is said that she still haunts the room in which she hid, which is the witch's room.
All right.
Now she appears at the bedside of anyone who spends the night in her room.
That'd be pretty scary. Waking up to that.
Yeah, I would cry. I would be one of the people seen fleeing in the middle of the night.
Oh, man.
Just mail me my shit. I'm good, bro. So during the Ghost Club investigation, the team reported that this room had struck them as the most supernaturally charged area of the house. Other investigators have captured images of inexplicable lights, orbs, and shadows.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always fun. So next on the list has been referred to as the most terrifying room of the ancient Ram Inn.
I thought the witch room was bad.
This is the bishop's room.
Oh, shoot.
Did you really just
leave me alone? Leave
nearly
me alone.
bleep yourself?
I could do what I want.
This is an explicit podcast, by the way, if you have not gathered that. We will swear and talk a lot of shit because we don't care.
Gosh darn it.
So, the bishop's room is the most haunted room, and there are a vast number of stories connected to it.
Okay.
Many guests have refused to stay in the room, and those unaware of the stories would check in only to run out screaming in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the room I want to stay in.
No, you have fun. I'll be down the road at a different inn. I'm good.
Well, I'll probably be there soon, but
so
try.
There have been reports of furniture flying around the room on its own, and at one point a medium was thrown down the hall while attempting to enter the room. Just attempting to enter. Didn't even get in the room and straight up was just thrown down the hall.
Wow.
Like,
that's powerful.
Yeah, that's scary. I love it, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there has also been sightings of 2 monks shimmering in the corner.
Ooh.
Yeah, just shimmery monks in the corner. Looking fabulous. Sorry to monks out there. I don't know.
Whatever.
Everybody on the internet gets
They're
offended.
just monks. No, just kidding.
Can monks even use the internet?
Hey, we don't ask those types of questions.
These are things that go through my mind because I have weird questions. You know my weird questions. So, an unsuspecting plumber also came face to face with a mounted centurion.
What?
A cavalier.
Oh, wow. This got interesting.
Imagine being that plumber, just being called to like come and work on. Like,
I'd be so upset.
Dude,
oh man,
you're just like another day. You know, first of all, you're a plumber, so like, you've got to deal with literal crap.
Toilets.
Yeah, and like that's a rough job. Like kudos to plumbers. I couldn't do it. I really could not. You have strength beyond measure. But
mounted centurion.
Yeah, you just go in for a normal job and then just ghost. Not just ghost, a mounted centurion ghost.
You're a big ghost.
Like, I would quit. I would just like leave the building and then I would go to my boss and I'd be like, dude, I'm out. Like, I'm done. So a cavalier, which was a supporter of King Charles I during the English Civil War, has appeared by the dressing table before walking across the room.
Is that his thing? Is that what he does?
Yeah, so he just like pops up and then just like walks across the room.
All right. A lot of spirits or entities do that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to like really do a lot of things. So like just being able to like manifest and walk across the room is like pretty big. Yeah. It could also be, what is that? A residual haunting?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, so for those who don't know, a residual haunting is just, essentially captured energy that's just on repeat. So it'll be like somebody walking across a room, and it'll just happen all the time because it's captured energy that's just replaying over and over and over again. It's not necessarily a ghost. It's just, for whatever reason, the energy of that moment was imprinted in that area, and it just keeps replaying.
Good job.
I'm smart. So then there have also been reports of a young woman hanging from the beams.
Nice.
And a phantom shepherd and his dog.
Aw.
Because dogs are the best. Because dogs are the best. So they have been seen near the door. The shepherd and his dog.
All right.
Which is the best boy. Who's such a best boy? I'm sorry. I really love dogs. I can't talk about dogs without, like, dying. So I apologize anytime they get brought up, which we're probably going to do an entire episode on, like, omen dogs. So be prepared. Witnesses have heard the disembodied screams of a man who was supposedly killed by having his head shoved into the fireplace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, real dick move.
Who the fuck does that?
Rude people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, can't just stab me or whatever. That's not nice. So, some who have spent the night in the room have also reported a presence that got into bed next to them before pinning them down and sexually assaulting them.
Dang.
This is, of course, linked to the incubus succubus.
Yeah.
That plagued John throughout his time in the house. So John also experienced this entity, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So those of you that don't know what an incubus and a succubus is, it's essentially an overly sexualized entity that likes to take advantage, we'll say, of unsuspecting people and do the dirty deed with them.
Sex.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not real.
It's not a fun topic, but it may be something that we may cover in a future episode. But don't worry, if we do cover it, we will put a warning on because it will be.
Warning.
So, anyways, moving on. We don't need to worry about it. Anyways, so also in this house, images of strange mists and orbs have. I'll learn to speak.
You got this.
So, this is my first podcast. Please be nice to me. Images of strange mists and orbs have been captured in this room as well. Mark and Julie Hunt, the stairs fame people,
Okay.
of the photograph on the stairs, the white mist.
Yep.
Anyways, also experienced extreme cold spots in this room, saw dancing lights that resembled fireflies, and noticed a hooded figure behind the dressing table.
Awesome. That's a lot.
Yeah. That's too much.
Yeah.
In one room, too.
Yeah.
So then, claims of perfectly tamed dogs suddenly attacking their owners have also come from this room. And 2 investigators that spent the night here later had to undergo an exorcism.
Jeez.
Yeah. So this room is like really fucked up, really scary. It's so bad that normally tamed dogs are like, nah, bro, I want out.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
Sketchy room.
Yeah. Because, animals have that sense.
Yeah.
They can just sense things and they know when things are not okay. Yeah.
Definitely.
So this is also the room in which John found evidence of satanic worship.
Oh, wow.
Some artifacts were found sealed away in the brickwork of the chimney that had supposedly been there for over 200 years.
That's a long time.
these artifacts were a round block of wood with a wedge cut out and a small iron horseshoe made to fit a goat's cloven hoof. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what the block of wood with the wedge cut out is supposed to do for satanic worship. I don't know what either is supposed to do for satanic worship. I mean,
we'll have to look that up or something.
Maybe. But yeah, I know that goats are associated with Satan and satanic worship. You know, I know that that's a thing. But yeah, so these were the artifacts that led him to believe that there was evidence of satanic worship. Yeah. Also in this room, there is like, he left like notes in places for like people that come and walk through and stuff. And there is a note in this room that's like, this is the room where satanic worship happened. John was cool. Sorry, I like him.
That's awesome.
So anyways, the last spot on this tour is called the Weaver's Attic. It is literally the attic space that had at one point been used by weavers, but has since been turned into a bedroom and adjacent open space.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, aptly named because literally weavers did live here.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Right.
The Weaver's Room.
I mean, it'd be weird to call it the Weaver's Attic when it housed, like, I don't know, something else. I thought I could come up with something.
You tried.
I'm not very witty. So John's daughter lived up here with her partner at some point. And they would often hear sounds of something heavy being dragged across the floor.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, yeah. Creepy. Other visitors have claimed to hear the same noise, mostly from the bishop's room, which is directly beneath the attic.
All right.
So hearing something heavy dragged across the floor.
Dang.
Yeah, that's ominous as fuck. The space is said to be haunted by an innkeeper's daughter who was murdered sometime during the 1500s. And this spirit was named by one of the visiting mediums as Elizabeth.
Okay.
During their visit, the Ghost Club photographed mysterious mists in the attic alongside registering abnormalities in the electromagnetic frequencies. Another team of paranormal investigators claimed to hear a dog panting. The most haunted team broke into hysterics upon entering the space when their camera gear malfunctioned and their medium became possessed by a vengeful presence.
Jeez.
All right, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Caroline, the one that reported sleeping in a caravan outside instead of sleeping in the house, right?
The daughter, one of the daughters.
She's the one that has taken over the building for John. She moved back in with her father before he passed, and in one of the articles I read, she said that her father never went anywhere without his Bible, which living in that house,
it's probably like his one comfort.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Man.
She also did mention in that same article that in one of the rooms, they heard cries of children. Coming from the room, and she wound up putting a bunch of toys inside that room, and since putting the toys there, they haven't really heard the cries since then. Which is kind of cool, because, like, I mean, if they're, like, sad murdered children, like, giving them some toys maybe made them happy. It gives them something to do instead of sit there and cry.
It's pretty sweet.
Which, honestly, being a ghost child stuck in that house, yeah, I would cry.
Yeah.
Especially the fucking centurion. She also is quoted saying, quote, "Paranormal experts love staying here, but we couldn't carry on running the house as a normal bed and breakfast. It's just too haunted."
Dang,
Yeah,
so they had to stop. Wow.
Yeah, so now they open it up to like paranormal investigators and like horror writers will sometimes stay there.
All right.
One of the things I read, it was like 20 to 30 pounds per night. I don't know if that's right though.
Okay.
I'm sure if you are interested, you could contact the Ancient Ram Inn for pricing. I don't want to stay there, so I don't know what the price is.
I'm good.
As much, like, there are going to be some places that we talk about that are haunted that I'm going to be like, I totally want to go here. Like the Stanley Hotel. Oh, that is on my list of places I want to go. Especially because that is connected to one of my favorite Stephen King novels. But that's not on this episode. So, but this is definitely one of the places that I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'll drive past it. I'll take photos from the outside, but I don't want to go in. I'm okay.
I want to go in.
You have fun.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go get, like, a beer down the road. Cause
get me one ready.
It is in England, so I can guarantee there's a pub down the road.
There's a pub.
Because England and pubs. Just so great. So Carolyn also believes that they won't ever be able to sell the house. As she puts it, no one in their right mind would buy it.
You just wait.
I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there that would buy it. Like, look at Zach Baggins. He bought that that demon house in, I think it was Indiana. That really,
I have no idea.
It's a house that had like a ton of like demons in it, and like the little kids that lived there were getting possessed and stuff. Anywho, Zach Baggins of Ghost Adventures fame, of course, he bought that house straight up. I mean, he's torn it down since, but he did buy the house to do his own private investigation inside of it. So
that's awesome.
I'm sure that there's somebody out there who would be willing to buy the house.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure they would definitely try to make money off of it with like paranormal investigators and stuff. I'm also not sure because I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the house, because most of the articles that I read for the research are kind of old. A lot of them refer to John as still being alive, and he did pass away 3 years ago. So maybe she did sell it to somebody. Maybe somebody else owns it. But as far as I know, she's still the one in charge.
Okay.
And she doesn't think anybody would buy it. But there are definitely people out there that would.
So.
She's also just accepted living with the unwanted house guests. Like, she just is like, yeah, they're here. Whatever. Kind of like John. John just kind of got to the point where he's like, this is my life now.
What's the scariest part for you?
Honestly, that bishop's room just sounds really, there's a lot going on in there. It just sounds like too much. Like,
yeah,
I would probably just cry.
I think mine's the barn.
Really?
Well, the 7-foot tall shadow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the shadow person.
Yeah, I don't like shadow people.
Yeah, no.
I don't like shadow people.
I don't think anybody would blame me on that, because, like, for real, there's some scary stories linked to shadow people. We
can't wait to do that podcast.
Yeah, we will probably talk about them at some point, because, yeah. But yeah.
Is that the ancient Ramhead Inn?
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, that's what I got about it.
All right.
So
that was our first podcast.
Yeah, we did it. We made it through a podcast. Oh my god. So yeah. This is kind of what we're gonna do with this podcast. Basically, I'm going to research a topic. It might be someplace haunted, like this episode. It might be something about aliens or cryptids or some
unsolved mystery.
Yeah, creepy story. You know, like we said, you know, we're probably going to cover shadow people. We'll cover stories about aliens. We'll cover Bigfoot. We'll probably cover, you know, like the Bermuda Triangle.
We're hoping to have a lot of episodes for you.
Yeah, there's so many paranormal stories. Like, the list is so endless.
Much. Once you actually look at it, there's a lot.
I have like 3 separate lists going just because, like,
I can't wait for the conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories will be fun.
There's a lot.
There may come a day where we might split off and do a whole conspiracy theories podcast itself.
That would be good.
Because I love conspiracy theories. Like, even if I don't support them, like, there's some out there that I'm just like, that's ridiculous. What are you doing with your life? But I will still talk about them because it's endlessly fascinating that people come up with these stories and, like, not only come up with it, but firmly believe it. Like, they will defend it to the death. So,
well, hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, if you enjoyed listening to this episode, let us know. You know, it's the usual routine. Like, leave us a review on iTunes because it definitely helps us get in the charts. And
like this shit.
I really want to be in the charts. So, yeah, spread the word. Tell your friends. Another nightmare has arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm lame. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, so just leave us a review on iTunes if you could, my darlings, because it really helps us out. Also, you know, just leave us reviews anywhere. You can also find us on social media. We have Instagram and Twitter. You can just search Another Nightmare Podcast and you'll find us on both of those platforms. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ofakya. That's OFAKYA. I've never really posted on Twitter, so you don't have to follow me there. But if you want to follow my Instagram, I don't post a lot, but I might get back into posting.
For this.
Yeah. You know, and other side projects that I may come up with in the future. I'll also post pretty pictures of our doggy on both Another Nightmare and on Ofakya, so you can check those out.
And Fifi.
Oh, Fifi is a small stuffed black cat who is our podcast
mascot.
Mascot, yeah.
Fifi.
So maybe I'll post a picture of Fifi sometime this week on Instagram so you guys can check out Fifi. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it.
Thanks for listening.
Please be nice in the comments.
You don't
I'm
have to
sensitive.
be. I'm not.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week when we're going to have like a really fun story.
Bye.
Bye.